Hey everyone, can you guys hear me out there? Testing my audio. Let me get my comments pulled up here on my phone if I can. There we go. Got a yes from Melissa, got a yes from Trish. Got a yes from Jesse. Awesome. Well, let's get rolling here. Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining our Configura live stream. We are here today to talk about CET 12.0, which will be launching very, very shortly. We're here for some fun sneak peeks. So, I will be showing you a few cool things that you can expect to see with 12.0 coming out. And we do have another part to this series as well. So, this is just part one, just a few of the sneak peeks we'll show in this part, and then we'll be sure to show some more in the next part as well. So I am Kelsey DeBruin. I have you guys here on my phone to my right. So thank you everyone for joining. Hey Diane. Hey Stephanie. Thanks you guys for joining out there. So I'll be able to keep track of comments here on my right. So if there's anything awesome that you see or any questions that you might have, please let me know and hopefully I'll be able to answer those. And if not, then we'll make a note and try to respond to those questions after the live stream. Okay? So let's just get right into it here. I'm excited to be back. We have not done a live stream since 11.5 back in November. So it's been a little while, but happy to see everyone again here on the live stream and excited to show you guys some cool things. So, if you are a live stream attender of ours, you know that we always do a giveaway for the live stream, and this one is no different. So, we will be giving away a gift card to one random lucky winner at the end of this live stream. To enter into the drawing, all you got to do is throw up a heart. So, using the actual little emoticons or whatever those little guys are called, just throw up a heart and then you've automatically entered yourself into the drawing. And since it's been a few months since I've done one of these, it will take me a little bit of time to find where that heart location is, but we'll be sure to do that drawing and make sure a winner is announced. So again, just throw up that heart and you've entered yourself into the drawing. All right. Let's get into our content then for the live stream. Again, we are here to look at CET 12.0, which is launching May 17th. So, right around the corner. Now, there's a couple things I want to mention before we really get into looking at my screen and a few things I want to point out there. So, here's what you can expect: release day, release week, couple weeks following it, just so we're all on the same page. So CET does release 12.0 May 17th, but it is a staggered release. So not everybody will be able to access the release immediately. It does take a couple days for that stagger to work itself out, but offering it in the staggered option is how we can catch any major issues before it gets out to everybody. So it is a stagger for the first couple days. So if you don't see it immediately on May 17th, that update, that's okay. Now, another thing that would cause you to not see the update right away is manufacturers' extensions. They do have a 2 week window after May 17th to get their extension updated. So, if you have a manufacturer extension that has not updated to 12.0 yet, that will also block the update. Again, it's a 2 week window after May 17th. Now, if those 2 weeks have passed and you have not seen the update yet, especially if coworkers have it, and for the most part, you guys have the same extensions. Definitely make sure you contact support so we can figure out the issue that's blocking you from the 12.0 update and we can solve that for you. So, again, keep those kind of time frames in mind. By the end of that 2 week period or after the 2 week period has passed, you should definitely be seeing the update. So, if you're not, make sure you contact support so we can get that solved for you. All right. So now I'm going to switch my view. I'm going to show you some resources that you have to help you through the 12.0 update, and then we're going to get into CET and actually look at some of the new features. So I'm going to switch my view here. You guys can't see my video anymore, but you should be able to see my screen still. Just looking through the comments, making sure we don't have any questions yet. Looks like that's a no, so that's good. But feel free to ask your questions in the chat. And remember, with throwing up the heart, I love seeing the hearts in the comments. But to enter into the random drawing, use the actual little heart like button, just like you have the thumbs up, the laughing face. Use the actual little heart icon. All right, so with 12.0, Help Center is your best friend. In the Help Center, you will find release notes. You will find as much information as we have to share with you in regards to if there's any like major issue that might be happening, we will be sure to share that with you. If there is potentially like a blocking manufacturer, we will be sure to share that information with you as well if we have it. So the Help Center is a great place to come to understand all the new features and anything going on with 12.0. The Help Center, you can just simply access it from configura.com and go into support from there. Now, I'm going to also point out the Academy. There are free webinars hosted the entire week of the launch. So, in this live stream in part one and part two, I will be sharing some sneak peeks, but I will not be sharing everything in the new update. So, absolutely make sure that you come register for one of these webinars as well. Again, they're offered the entire week of release in multiple time zones and multiple languages, and a recording will be available afterwards. So if you can't attend any of these webinars live, there will be a recording available for you. So make sure you register or plan to watch that recording, because again, we're covering some of the stuff here in the live stream, but not fully. All right, so let's get into one of the big things you can expect to see with the update, and then we'll hop into CET. I am moving over to the pre-release notes right now. These are for internal use at the moment, so you guys do not see release notes posted to the Help Center yet. You will see those when CET 12.0 officially launches. But what I want to show you is this new update that you can expect to see if you have not seen it yet. So, big thing with 12.0 is we are now introducing CET industry products. So we have CET commercial interiors, CET material handling, and CET kitchen and bath. So we are dropping the word designer off of the CET name and now focusing on these specific industries. If you guys do hear me trip up and say CET designer, I am retraining my brain to now say CET and then the industry that we're referring to. But that is just a new change you can expect to see. Now, some of you might already be using the industry versions because the industry products were released recently, where if you were to purchase a new license, you were purchasing right into the correct industry product. Now, if you have been using an existing license for a while now, you are still using CET Designer, but you can expect to see the industry version that you would need to be using automatically update for you when you update to 12.0. So, based on the information that we have, you will automatically be assigned the correct product edition when you update. So, based on the industry that you're in, you'll automatically be assigned the correct edition. Now, you will not expect to see anything different in CET right now. The reason that we are moving to industry products is so that each edition can be packaged to include the tools and features needed to meet the specific industry that you're in. Currently, CET Designer will be similar across all of the different industries, but in the future, you can expect to see some changes and some additions that are targeted to the specific industry that you're in so that the tools and functionality functionality that you're using really meets the exact needs that you have based on the industry that you work with. So, you will notice a little bit of some terminology changing. You'll notice some new cool icons. You'll notice some new splash screens, but do not panic. That is intentional. And again, you will automatically be updated to the correct industry version. And again, don't expect to see anything different with functionality other than the new features coming out in 12.0. Nothing major will be different other than the look and the naming. All right. So let's now head into CET to look at some of the new features that you can expect to see. This is the exciting part. This is the part we're all waiting for. So I'm going to pop open CET now. If you do notice, the icon in my CET has adjusted to the industry version, matching kind of what my matching automatically what I should be set to. One thing I will mention is I am using a release candidate of CET right now. Of course, the official version has not released yet, does not release till May 17th. So I'm using a release candidate. I mentioned that because, of course, there's still little things happening here and there with CET right up until that official release. So if something that I'm showing you maybe looks a teensy bit different, or there's a funny thing here and there that we have to click through, just know again, this is a release candidate. It should be very similar to what you guys see when the official version comes out, but that's just something I have to mention, something I have to kind of plug. All right. So now let's get into some features. Again, any questions that you have, please add them to the chat. And don't forget to throw up that heart to enter into the random drawing. All right, so first thing here, you will notice in CET, I have a curved wall on the exterior side of my workspace here. What can we currently not add to curved walls? Things like windows, but that is changing in 12.0. In 12.0, we now have the ability to add windows to curved walls. So any whether it's a wall on the outside, inside, wherever you place that curved wall using any of these arched wall functionalities here on your walls tab, you will now be able to add windows to those. So let's take a look. Just going to grab my window icon as normal, and I'm actually going to place this window in completely the same way that I would place a window on a straight wall. So placing the window on the straight wall versus curved walls is exactly the same, but just the fact that it snaps to a curved wall now means that we know that yes, we can place windows on curved walls now. So I'm just going to kind of get one going here. I'm just going to modify a few of the settings. Let's say our elevation, maybe these are pretty much floor to ceiling windows. So the elevation is going to be pretty low. The height's going to be pretty high. And I'm actually not going to lock that. I'm kind of just going to eyeball their placement here. So click once to start, drag for the width, click again. And we have a window placed on our curved wall. Simple as that. Again, nothing different as far as how to place a window, just purely the fact that they snap to curved walls now means it's an option. So, getting a lot of hoorays and yays. Glad you guys are happy about this one. And again, just like normal functionality, we can copy and paste if we would like. Again, if you want to create like a whole window wall type of vibe, go for it. I'll just keep placing walls to infinity, or sorry, windows. There we go. All right, that was an easy one. One thing I will mention, if you guys are seeing any functionality and then when you start playing with it on your end, if you have any requests or features or anything that you would like to suggest with this new functionality, don't forget about the report or help feature requests. So please make sure you're requesting anything that you feel like is necessary or essential with these tools. All right, so that is a new one. Another new feature, this might be The thing I'm most excited about, and there's some really good additions to Photolab, which I'm going to talk about in part two, but the fact that this might be even more exciting than the updates to Photolab means it's pretty good. It's actually not like a super intense, crazy tool, but this functionality that's been added is really impressive. And that is associative dimensions. And what we mean by that is now when you place a dimension, if you use and keep the associative dimension functionality turned on, your dimension, not only when it snaps to objects, it will actually kind of attach to them in a sense that if you were to move objects around now, the dimension will go with it and automatically adjust its length if you actually move an object and change, the placement of it within your drawing. So let's take a look. The keyboard shortcut for placing just your standard dimension still works, and it is just the normal dimension that you're grabbing. We'll look at it with chain dimension 2, but it is just your normal dimension. So whether you grab it from the Tools tab, the 2D toolbar, or what you should be doing, because I'm a massive keyboard shortcuts user, you should just hit D. And if you just hit D, that pops the dimension to the end of your cursor there. So now, notice when you do go to place a dimension, see the associative green properties box there in the upper left. That is checked on by default if you're a commercial interiors user. It's actually unchecked by default if you're a kitchen and bath user on that industry product, but it is just a simple check and uncheck. So if you want to be using the associative, make sure it's checked. If you don't, uncheck. Now, here's where you're going to notice a little difference. See, like if I'm wanting to, let's say I wanted to mention this gap between the sofa and the bar here, just see how much distance I have. Notice now when I snap to those objects, they actually highlight in blue. So this means that blue highlight, this is the object that your dimension is now going to be referencing. So you place your first click to start as normal. Drag for the width. Don't forget, you can tap an arrow key with dimensions if you want to lock into moving in a specific direction. Now you come and find your second object. Again, it's going to highlight in blue. Click again. And then as normal, we need to pick our line length. So drag up and down and third click. And now your associative dimension is placed. Again, you place it the exact same way. It's just as simple as recognizing this checkbox, whether you want to use the functionality or not. Another visual cue for you is the little blue dot that you see at the beginning of each line length. That's a visual cue for you to know that this is an associative dimension. So I'm just registering 6 feet here. I've changed the color to red just so you guys can see it more visually, but this dimension will still follow whatever styles you have assigned. So nothing different there as far as just the look and the properties. But now, watch as I go to move. I'll just move this sofa. Let's say 6 feet was like, oh, geez, we need a little bit more space here. I'm just going to move this sofa. Once I finish moving the sofa, you'll see that the dimension automatically followed me. That is associative dimensions, and that is incredible because normally that would be an additional step to then adjust the dimension to recognize the shift that I've made to the sofa. Now let's look at that with chain dimensions as well. So I love chain dimensions. Chain dimensions, just FYI, they do not have a keyboard shortcut assigned to them automatically, but it is something you can assign in the keyboard shortcut dialog, and I would recommend that you do so because keyboard shortcuts are just awesome. All right, chain dimensions. Placing these works the same exact way as placing a chain dimension always does, but you'll see the blue highlight there. And again, you have that associative green checkbox as well. So if you want to be using that functionality, just keep it checked. But here we go. We're going to start placing our chain dimension as we always would. Just going to go and go and go. And let's end right about there. When you are ready to end your chain dimension, just flick off the screen or press escape. Again, nothing new. That's how that functionality always works. But you've noticed that as I was snapping to those items, they highlighted in blue. And now I see that little blue dot just for me to visually know that this is an associative dimension. I'm just going to move the sofa again. So let's move him. And I'm actually going to move like down and around just so you can really see the lines following. So now I moved my sofa to a really interesting spot. Obviously, probably not a spot I'd actually move it to, but I wanted to point out that not only does the dimension shift, it will also increase line lengths of the dimension if needed. So that is the associative dimension functionality. Again, I am massively excited about that one. It's not like something bright and shiny like Photolab. It is just dimensions we're talking about here, but still really awesome functionality. So a lot of amazings and fire. Yay. Glad you guys like that one. All right. I'm going to show you guys one more for this sneak peek. It is a sneak peek after all, so I'm not going to give away the whole kit and caboodle in this one, but I do want to show you one more feature. This one I'm actually really excited about too. It's a simple checkbox, but this is for my peeps out there that use dual monitors and work with a new view. And if anybody doesn't know what that is, I can explain it to you here in 2 seconds. So you can work with multiple drawing views of CET. Typically, if you work in a dual monitor situation, you could have like a 2D drawing view pulled up on one monitor, and then you can actually have another drawing view, like maybe your 3D drawing view, pulled up on your second monitor. And those two drawing views are still linked together. But if you don't love like working in split screen, for instance, or if you don't like working in a full screen drawing view and toggling back and forth, if you have dual monitors, this solution can be great for you to still have both drawing views open, but they're on two separate screens. Easiest way to get a new drawing view is just simply tapping V on your keyboard. So V will open up that new view for you. You can also get to a new view by the drop down in the upper left. Go to the views drop down and choose your new views there, but V is way better and way easier. So you should just tap V and that opens up your new view for you. And this view, this is the one that I would drag off to my second monitor, and I can be working in both. And you'll see I can work in a 2D, a 3D, and the pay-per view here. So it could even be pay-per-view that you have as your secondary new view. But here's the new functionality, and you guys will have to use your imaginations here. Picture this view off to my second monitor, but since you guys can only see one monitor right now, that's why they're both on the same screen. But here's what the new functionality is. So you can now go to the little visibility drop down in the bottom right of that new view, so the little eyeball icon, and you can choose to follow the main view mode, that new checkbox there. What that means is as you change the view mode in your main view, which your main view is like the one with all of your component tabs and like the full functionality of CET, you guys can see with this new view, I really only have my toolbars here and not all the full functionality of CET. But again, the views are still linked together, so I can be using all the functionality on the main view over to the new view. But now here's what the cool part is. I'm going to switch to like my architectural view mode. See how the view mode automatically followed. And again, typically like if you got 2D on one screen, you might have like 3D on the other. So let me show that 3D drawing view on the other. So I just switched to 3D here. But you'll see that it automatically followed the view mode. So instead of me having to switch the view mode on my main screen and my new view, it just automatically follows because of that checkbox. Right now, the checkbox is only available if you're in the 2D drawing view. You can then check follow main view mode, and then you can like switch to whatever view you would want from there. But that's something I've submitted. It'd be nice to have the follow main view in the 3D drawing view too. But again, this would be something that's tossed over to a secondary monitor, and you can work between both of those views. So if I was to go start placing product, I'll just switch myself back to the normal view mode here. But if I was to go place some product, It's in my 2D drawing view, but you'll see it can shift over into I can shift over into working in my 3D drawing view as well. So that's what's great about the new view, and being able to work with both of those views in CET. Again, new view is not the actual new functionality. That's been around for a while, but just the fact that you can follow the main view mode here is the new functionality, and it cuts out the step of having to adjust view modes in both your views. All right. So got some so nices, yay. And that is the features that I wanted to show you for 12.0. So again, at least in this part, again, there's another part next Thursday. But we looked at the curved windows, we looked at associative dimensions, and then we looked at the follow main view mode if you do work in that new view scenario. All right. So, I hope that there are some good functionalities, new things you're excited about. Can't wait to get to 12.0. That's the hope there. So, we have made it to the drawing to see who our winner is for the gift card. I have a few things that I need to pull up on my side here. So, bear with me as I click into a few things. And as I try to remember where I find the amount of hearts that I have. So while I'm finding this information, now is your chance to throw up that heart. And in the comments, if there's anything that you're really excited about, let us know. As I was kind of going through the release notes, picking the things that we wanted to talk about, I was like, yes, this is going to be awesome. And again, part two is still coming, and there's some good stuff in there too. All right, so I'm getting close to where I need to be to find my hearts. There we go. Found it. Yay. All right. Whoa, we got 38 hearts. Holy cow. Good good job, everyone. Way to throw those hearts up. That is a really good amount. So here's how this works. We put 38 in for max. We then generate whatever number shows up. That will be the winner. So let me switch my screen here so you can see what I'm talking about. So we've added 38. Now we're going to hit generate. Good luck, everyone. 15. So now I'm going to count down my list, and the 15th in my list will be the winner. If you can see the hearts and the people, if your list doesn't match mine, that's okay. We're going to go off the one on my side. So I'm going to count down that list. I'm not actually going to show you the individuals just for privacy reasons, but here we go. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay, I'm going to butcher this last name. I so apologize. The winner is Anna Bond VHK. I do not know how to make that sound with my mouth. I so apologize. But the winner is Anna Bond. So thank you so much, Anna, and congratulations. We will be sure to private message you so we can make sure we get your information for sending you that gift card. But thank you so much for participating. And thank you to everyone for participating in our live stream here. Just one more little piece of information that I need to share. We have another live stream coming up, part two. So we're gonna look at some more new features and I did maybe save the best for last. So make sure you tune in for that one as well. But that's gonna be next Thursday, same time, 11 a.m. Eastern time. So just looking through my comments, lots of people joined. Yay. So thank you guys so much for attending. I hope you're as excited about 12.0 as we are. We'll talk to you guys soon. Thanks.